We can now join a bloke who's about to pack his bags and head up there for 5 or 6 weeks, maybe a little bit less than that. And we can join Nat Fyfe where it was a sunny 20 degrees today in Perth. Welcome to you, Nat, and you must surely be looking forward to getting over to the Gold Coast.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, looking forward to getting on the bird next Tuesday and heading up there. Now we've got some clarity around what it actually looks like. The guys are just keen to get into it and start playing a few games.
How have you approached it with the team, mate?
Like I said, Brownie, once we've got some actual fixtures, we know how to set up our weeks. We've really encouraged the guys to go about their business as per usual and not worry about the permeations of what may be. Prepare to play footy. We've had a week now of contact training. There's real competitive juices starting to flow. So all our focus is on that first game against Brisbane, round 2.
Fyfe, what about the messaging from yourself as skipper and from the coach about what this year might mean moving forward for you guys? Because it is a pretty unique circumstance where you're going to get to learn a lot about each other and yourselves.
Yeah, it's a good question, Roo. We're trying to take the optimistic lens on everything that we're doing, and I'm sure all clubs are doing something similar, but we've got a young group, a new coach, 4-week isolation period. Might have come at a great time for our group to work on connection and chemistry. So we're trying to take all the positives out of it. It is a big step to relocate to the other side of Australia, what the 4 clubs are having to do. But within that, we're on planes a little bit less. We'll try and take all the benefits out of we can to get the growth for the remainder of this year and the coming seasons.
Have you looked beyond this 5? We go to round 5. We know the fixture for up till round 5. Have you guys looked beyond that? There's a suggestion today, I'm not sure whether it's gathered much momentum over there, that maybe the West Australian borders will open up after that. I mean, where are you at with all that?
No, to be honest, Gaz, we're encouraging our guys to focus on what we know, which is this first 4-week block. We're told that we're definitely going to be up there for 4 weeks. What will be after that. We're getting guys to bring along items with them that might make it as comfortable and as homely as it is usually for them up on the Gold Coast. And worrying about all the possibilities with the border and what that may mean. Will they see their families after 4 weeks? Will we have to stay over there even longer? We'll cross those bridges when we get to them.
We're a bit fascinated with it because it's so different. I suspect, having spoken to you and others about this, that the players are much more at ease about it. But have you gone to the effect of detailing, who you stay with, or do you get your own room, or if families come over, are they going to be separated from the single fellas? Or how is that all going to work?
The information's being drip-fed through day by day. We've come to a conclusion around what families will be going on the trip, and at this stage it looks like for the first 4 weeks we're going to keep it pretty business-like, mostly just the players and coaches. We've basically encouraged the guys that if they want to bring a surfboard or a golf club, bring those things along, and hopefully within the first week or 2 those restrictions start to open up on players, because the mental health of having those things accessible is pretty critical. Clearly, I've got an agenda there, but we are encouraging guys just to worry about what we know, prepare for footy, and take the rest from there.
Any anxiety amongst the players as yet? I know you're trying to be positive, Nat, but there must be anxiety still around the club, especially when it comes to family concerns and leaving loved ones at home.
Yeah, look, Brownie, as someone who's not married and doesn't have kids, it is hard for me to have a balanced, objective view on what it must be like for those guys that are leaving their families, kids behind. I'm speaking with Sonny Walters, Dave Mundy, Nathan Wilson, Taylor Duman. They are making some sacrifices. They will work with their families, keep in contact as best they can. I'm sure there is a little bit of anxiousness, but overwhelmingly, there's a feeling of optimism and excitement to be back playing footy.
It's an enormous challenge for you as the leader of this group, I reckon. Nat, have you had a bit of a chat to yourself and analysed how you're going to approach the next 4 or 5 weeks? Because no other leader in the game, along with yourself and the other 3 clubs that are going, have had to face this sort of inconvenience.
It's certainly unique, but the last 7 weeks has presented a great leadership opportunity. We've had to find new platforms to connect and communicate with our players. We've seen real growth in some areas of leadership. Guys like Alex Pearce and Reece Conquer have really flourished in that environment. So certainly there's been some great learning so far. And the next 4 weeks, I look at it as another opportunity to grow with my leadership, my connection with the younger players. I think we're in single rooms, and I've requested a full wing all to myself, so I don't have to have too much contact with some of the guys. But there will be opportunities for us to have game nights and get to know each other a bit more.
It could be the greatest blessing in disguise for Jesse Hogan, who we know has documented issues, and we've got our fingers crossed that he's in a really good space. And I believe I heard Justin say that he's going to travel with the team. So, I mean, the opportunity for him to immerse himself with the group full time might be the kick along that he needs.
Yeah, perhaps it'll be an environment where Jess can start to feel a bit more comfortable with some of the other players. He's taken some great steps so far in terms of his training and preparation. He's got a fair way to go, but everything's looking pretty positive at the moment. And as a leadership group and as a club, we're right behind Jess and walking him back to playing AFL footy.
So is the whole squad going across, Nat? Do you know that yet, whether the whole group is going to travel, or someone like Jesse, is he going across for that specific reason, even though he might not be close to playing? As you said, he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, Roo, we've decided that we're going to take our entire playing list. We're a bit thin on resources, so we couldn't really leave a group back in Perth. But more than that, we see it as an opportunity to grow the connection between the whole group. Potentially we may look at separating out the 25 that are playing when you get close to games. But at this stage, we're taking all our playing group across. We've got 2 guys in rehab that'll be a big part of that as well.
And how about with a new coach? Clearly a new coach wants to bring in new ideas and new tactics and new thoughts on the game. How hard has it been to grow as a group throughout this period, and how hard has it been on the coach? Has he relied on you through this period at all?
Yeah, a little bit. It's been a baptism of fire for JL having to come in, implement a new game plan, play one game and then press park for 8 weeks. So we've probably regressed slightly with our understanding of game plan and implementation of that. That's only to be expected, and I'm sure other clubs in a similar position. But what we have been able to do is really get to know each other a little bit more in a different way, and we'll look to use this next 4 weeks to build that connection as well as ramp up our game plan knowledge, get to know JL's language and how he wants to implement that against opposition teams, and really see this as an opportunity to improve.
So what are we going to see? What are we going to see when we sit down and we watch every single game because we've been so deprived of it? What are we going to see from Fremantle? How are you going to play?
Well, I'm not going to give you all the secrets right here on air, Gaz, but I hope you'll see an exciting brand of footy. We've been a team that's been starved of scores for a number of years. That's been the way we've played, and hopefully that's going to look slightly different. It's going to take a number of weeks for us to fully implement that, but we've got some outside run and some tall forwards that we want to take advantage of. And what we've seen at training is we've become a bit more of a direct, flowing team and a balanced team on defence. So hopefully it looks a little bit different to what it has been previous years.
So you've got Brisbane in round 2. Will Chris Fagan be planning for you to play more in the forward line?
Fags, what will he be planning for at the moment? I'd say,
I reckon he would.
Well, hopefully he does. I don't think it's worth putting a run with play with me. Just let me and Lockie Neal run around on our own. It'd be great.
Will you be putting a run with player on Lockie Neal?
No, you're going to have to think a bit harder with your questions there, Brownie.
Well, I've got one for you. Gary's virtual love child, Harley Bennell. I know he's an ex-teammate of yours, but Harley Bennell seems to be going quite well. We hear about it from Gary every week, pumping him up.
Oh, geez.
Can Harley Bennell still make it as a top-line player, get back into AFL football as we saw in his early days, mate, from what you saw at Fremantle?
I think you're asking the wrong person now, Brownie. We tried as hard as we could, and Harley tried as hard as we could, but couldn't get any footy out of his body, and that's really the only thing that's going to hold him back. So hopefully the medical team at Melbourne can find some different avenues to getting him back on the park, because it's good for footy if Harley's playing.
A couple for me. Have you had a chat to the Premier, Mark McGowan? I know it's good politics over there to kick the Eastern Staters, but it is making it pretty tough on the WA sides.
It's a tough one, this one, because he is a Freo man, Mark McGowan, and he is doing a fantastic job. But No, I haven't directly spoken to him about it. He's making decisions in the best interest of the entire state, and I think we're going to have to trust him on that.
He sounded like him then. Sounded just like a politician. Beautifully handled, Fyfe. Well done.
One final one. Ross Lyon, your former coach, had a fair bit to say about the coaching potential of Sonny Walters. We know him as an electric mid who is a brilliant small forward, but probably loves to play in the middle, loves jumping into people all the time. Do you see him as a coach as well? As a coach in waiting? Is he prolific at team meetings, etc.?
He's definitely prolific at team meetings. I mean, Sonny sees the game like very few people do. He's quite direct in his leadership and drives standards of his other players. And I can certainly see if Sonny wanted to step down that line, he would be a real asset in the coaching department.
Last one from me, Nat. What did you do during the 7 weeks to better yourself? Jonathan Brown became a painter. He painted his house, and I'm not talking landscapes. I'm talking just a wall. What have you done in the 7 weeks to get yourself better?
The wall.
I can't really top that, to be honest. I spent most of the 7 weeks driving a road train up and down on the highway for the old man and just trying to keep as fit as I could. But that's about it, mate.
How long was it? How long did you get in it? Are we talking a big truck like the one we saw on the Fox ad? Is that what we're talking about here?
That's pretty much the exact one that I was in. I got to be careful here because I said I was doing 70 hours a week, and I got a clip from my brother who questioned that. But I did about 15,000 K, so across Australia and back 4 times.
I've got one for you, Nat. How do you go backing up those B doubles? Because I just bought myself an 8x5 trailer the other day, and when I was trying to get some firewood, it took me a few goes to back the trailer in. How do you go backing up the B double, mate, which is about 40 metres long?
B double's not too bad. Pocket road train gets a little bit difficult, Brownie.
Brownie, you'll have to go over and get some personal tuition.
Backing up.
Go and have a coffee with him.
Get it delivered, mate. Just get it delivered.
As we say goodbye, Nat, I reckon the Premier will be pretty proud of you. You really are sticking it up us here in the eastern states with that fire on the background. 20 degrees over there today. It's about 4 degrees at the moment, and you've got a fire on. That's unbelievable. Good luck over in the hub. We look forward to seeing the Dockers produce some pretty good footy. You had a good start in round 1, didn't get the points, but you look good. Good luck.
Thanks very much, guys.